Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the greatest of all time episode of Beth the Chef. Now, I say this simply because we're going to cook with goat today and make some lovely goat burgers. Something a bit unusual and a bit different, but I'll show you the plan of what we're going to make because it's quite a crazy invention of mine. And it's simply easier to see the picture than me explaining it and you going, what? So here's the picture. We're going to make some chili infused flatbreads. They're going to be replacing the bun. And then, as you would in a burger, a bit of lettuce. On top is going to be our goat burger. And this is spiced with rose harissa, which, if you don't really know about rose harissa before, I'll go through it later on in the video. It's a beautiful flavour. On top of that is caramelised red onion chutney and some crumbled feta. So it's going to be intriguing, and I've never made a goat burger before. Cooked with goat before, but never made a burger out of it. So let's see what happens and let's cook. So the first stage is actually going to be the red onion chutney. Just because we want a bit of time for that to reduce. And you'll see later on, but the flatbreads, unlike naan breads, for example, there's not actually any yeast in them, so they don't really need any time to prove. But for the chutney, I've got 4 finely sliced red onions, and as they cook down, I just prefer the texture of them sliced as opposed to diced. It's just nicer in burgers. You'll see when you eat it, of course. In the jug, there's 50 ml of white wine vinegar and 50 ml of pork. In here, there's 4 heaped teaspoons of caster sugar, a bit of oil for cooking, and I'm going to add some spices. So the first stage will be to lightly toast these. But there's half a teaspoon of cumin seeds in there and half a teaspoon of fennel seeds. The seeds are nicely toasted and the fragrance smells beautiful. We've just popped a bit of oil in the pan. I'm going to lightly saute off the red onions. Once they're getting soft, add our sugar. Once that's caramelised well, we're going to add the liquid and just let the liquids, well, we'll add the seeds of course, but just let the liquid reduce down to sticky chutney consistency. So after a few minutes, when they're starting to soften, I'm adding my sugar. You should see it starting to caramelise already, starting to brown quickly. Incorporate your toasted seeds. So I'm going to lower the heat now, almost to a simmer. And in goes the liquids. And just leave it to reduce. In the meantime, we're going to look into the flatbreads. So yeah, the next stage is the flatbreads, and I've gathered all the ingredients up. It's very straightforward really. There's 4 ingredients here. 5 would be some butter later on. You'll see, of course, but we use a dry pan and brush the flatbread dough with butter before cooking. And in here is 300 grams of self-raising flour. And for this, we add half a teaspoon of baking powder. Turning my chutney off. Depends how hot you want it. I'm going to go with a big teaspoon of chili powder. I'm just going to incorporate it. And to this goes in 150 grams of yogurt. And what I'm going to do is get my hands in there. Now, if needed, just add a little bit of water. So to shape them, I'm just lightly flouring the surface. And my template, I've got a burger press, so I'm gonna use it almost as a mould, a cutter, to get the right idea of the right size to the burger. And yeah, trust the Amazon. You can get burger presses on Amazon. Can't remember the price, but we go. I'm just dusting in flour. Make sure the dough feels right. I'm just folding out. Now with biscuits and that, you go thickness of £1 coin, they usually say. But I'm going to go a little bit thicker with these, just because it's going to be the bun element. And you want to be able to pick it up and hold it. You want to get the pan nice and hot there. I've got my melted butter. I'm just going to lightly brush them. And put them all in. They cook 1 to 2 minutes each side. And do the other one later on. And brush the tops of them. So roast harissa and goat mince. Let's discuss. I've got these both from, like in the previous episodes, the game meat. I've got everything from Dorset Meat Company. It's very good and a very reliable website, in my opinion. So I've just got the roast harissa here. This is 170 gram jar and it's actually about £4.35. It's from, well, North African concoction, let's say. Simply combines the harissa spice with either dried rose petals, which is what is in here, or some of them use rose water. And it's just the floralness combined with those smoky spices. Just is a lovely flavour to put in burgers, liven up your stews, liven up curries. I've had it on a rack of ribs before, which was very interesting and very nice. You can do a lot with it. So that's roast harissa for you. Goat mince. I've never used goat mince before, but I've slow cooked goat shank. We did it one Christmas, and yeah, it's very nice. It is very similar to lamb, like a lot of people say, less fattier. and I love lamb, so I love goat. But 500 grams of goat mince from the Dorset Meat Company website will set you back £8.45. So I've got everything gathered up towards the goat burgers. So my press is there. I've got my goat mince. I'm gonna add 4 teaspoons of roast harissa. So it works out as a teaspoon in each patty. And I'm just going to get some salt and pepper. Now I've not added any salt into any of the other ingredients today, simply because we're going to add feta, crumbled feta with the burger. And of course feta is salty cheese. So it's all about the balance. However, I took the lid off. I'm just going to incorporate with my hands. Now feel free to wear gloves if you want, because it darkens your hand. Gives you fake tan, eh? Smells beautiful already. Just love the smell of that roast harissa paste. Just going to use the spray as we go along. You know, our seal spray. Just to ensure the burgers come out well. So I'm just roughly quartering the mix. As you can see. One oil pan on the heat. Medium heat. Now there's different, as mentioned before, different fat content into these burgers. So you have to be a little bit more delicate with them. But they take around the same time as a standard burger would. So when the pan's hot, take about 4 or 5 minutes in total, 2 to 3 minutes either side. Right, so now we've got everything gathered up and ready to assemble our goat burgers. So I'll get our flatbread for the bottom. Some nice gem lettuce. Got the red onion chutney. Some lovely salty crumbled feta to go on top here. Finally, another one of our chili flatbreads. And here we have it. So our goat burger, which is homemade chili infused flatbreads, gem lettuce, our goat burger spiced with rose harissa, caramelised red onion chutney, and crumbled feta. Spread the word with the chef. Join us next week where we're going to go back into some pastry and we're doing some blackcurrant and white chocolate Jaffa cakes. Bon appetit!